Good, how are you?
Good. I'm Jennifer. I'm going to be your nurse today. And what's your name?
Rebecca Jones.
So then you assess their name badge, ask them their birth date.
11/08/91.
Nice. Okay. You are who you say you are. You're going to want to provide privacy. You're going to want to, sorry, you can pull it back. You're going to want to, this is squirting all over. You can use hand sanitizer. Okay, so you're going to wash your hands. Then you're going to assess the patient's pretty much just their basic health status. You're going to look at their skin, make sure that their level of consciousness is, they're awake, ready for this. You're also going to ask them if they can move their arms and how much ability they can do on their own. Because if you walk into a patient's room and say, okay, I'm going to do range of motion, and they can already do it themselves, then it's going to be frustrating to them. Okay? So you say, Rebecca, can you move your arms pretty good, or
A little bit? Yeah.
Okay, does it take a lot of energy? How about your legs? You can wiggle your legs. Can you sit up if I need you to sit up? Okay. So you kind of assess and see how they're physiologically before you just start moving them. If they're, if they've got paralysis on one side or what, you're obviously going to need to do the passive range of motion on that side, and then you would have them do the active range of motion on the other side when you're doing it. So you may have to be. The easiest way to get the teaching thing at the end of this is to teach as you go through. Then you're teaching the whole thing. This is what this is called, this is how you do it. So then they know that when they're doing their own range of motion at home or their own exercising, that's how to do it properly. Okay? Are you going to, well, then you explain what you're doing. Mrs. Jones, I'm going to be doing some range of motion activities, and I'm going to be bending your arms and bending your legs and moving your head and stuff. If anything hurts, you need to let me know, okay?
Okay.
And then you want them, you instruct them to tell you when it hurts, how far they feel like they can go, and things like that, because you don't want to extend their arms or flex it if it's causing pain, okay? All right, so then you want to go ahead and start with her head and neck. To do this, I would raise the bed up, because I can't squat that low. And you also want to be able to sit her up to do some of the neck and head stuff, okay? So let's see. Nope, I'm going to sit you up in just a second. Okay, now obviously if I have the bed this high, when I leave, what am I going to do? I'm going to put it down because she can't. Okay, so now I'm going to move her head up a little bit. Excuse my arm here.
Your arm hair?
My arm here.
That's on YouTube.
We're getting really close. Yeah. No, not fine, but. Okay, so Mrs. Jones, we're going to start with your head and neck, okay?
Okay.
All right, what I want you to do, can you move your head okay and it doesn't hurt too much?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to have you put your chin to your chest. That's called flexion.
Okay.
Then sit your head straight up. That's called extension. Now tip it back and look at the ceiling. That's called hyperextension. Okay, can you lay your head to your right shoulder? Good. And then your left shoulder, that's called lateral flexion. Now, turn your head and look over your shoulder. Turn your head and look over the other shoulder. That's called lateral rotation. Good job. Did it hurt? No pain? Okay, now we're going to do your shoulders. So, I'm going to do this arm and you do this arm. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to flex your shoulder up. That's flexion. And down is extension. And up is flexion. Down is extension. Good. Okay, now we're going to do your elbow. So you flex and extend. Flex and extend. Good. Okay, so your elbows and your shoulders seem to be working okay. There's no pain there?
No.
Okay, let's start with your wrist. Okay, wrist, we're going to have you flex and extend. Flex and extend. Okay, then you do what's called radial and ulnar deviation. So you think about where your radial is and where your ulnar is, and that's the side you go. So radial is you move your hand toward the radius. Ulnar is you move your hand toward the ulna. Those are called radial and ulnar deviation. With deformities, sometimes it pulls your muscles will deviate and pull to that side if you've got some deformed muscles. That's why it's called that. Okay. Now I want you to circle your wrists. Good. Okay, now I'm going to do what's called supination and pronation. So we're going to take your hand and make like a little soup bowl. That's called supination. Then you dump the soup out. That's called pronation. So supination, pronation. That's easy to remember. Okay, now we're going to work with your fingers. So I want you to kind of make a fist. Make a fist with your fingers. Now extend them and make a fist again. Now extend them. Okay, with your thumb, I want you to circle your thumb. That's called circumduction of the thumb. Okay, now the last thing that we're going to do is what's called opposition, where you take your finger or your thumb and you touch each one of your fingers. Okay, was that all on fingers?
That's called liking.
This is called opposition. Opposition. Okay. All right, good job, Mrs. Jones. Now I'm going to lay you down a little bit, okay, and then we're going to work on your legs and your hips and stuff. And if there's any pain, I want you to let me know all the time, okay?
Okay.
All right. So, excuse me here again. This is